So next topic is the helical springs. So springs are the elastic members that start under load and regain their original shape when the load is being removed. Okay? So lahat naman siguro tayo nakakita na no ng tinatawag nating spring. So yung spring na yon, it carry a certain load. So pag merong load, it's either magko-compress yung ating spring or magi-stretch siya, di ba? Tapos pag tinanggal na natin yung load, it will go back to its original shape. Okay, so yan yung spring natin. So yung spring is made up of yung tinatawag natin na coil. So these are coils ito. Yan. Coil yung mga yan with a specific diameter. So yung coil na to, it makes up yung tinatawag natin na spiral shape or sinusunod niya yung shape ng helix or yung cylinder or cylindrical shape. No? So here we have two types of helical spring. We have yung tinatawag natin na closed coil and then we also have here the open coil. So ano ba yung difference ng dalawang to? So the one difference of these two spring is yung spacing ng mga coil. So dito, closely packed yung ating coil or meron lang minimal or nearly no gap. Tightly siya yung ating coil. While on this one, yung open coil natin, makikita naman natin, we have here a large gap. Like we have seen a visible gap within the coils. So dito, pag closed gap, this is usually used for compression and torsion spring. So pag sinabi natin compression, ito yung nagkikerry siya ng mga compressive load. Like for example, yung spring natin sa mga beds, yung mattresses. Hindi ko alam kung nakita na kayo. So yung mga mattresses natin, yung mga beds, meron siyang spring. So ano ba yung kinakarga ng bed? It is a load, compressive load, diba? So yung spring natin, this is the bed. So meron, diba, pag meron siyang spring, it bounces, diba? So meron kasi yung spring, yan. So yung spring na yan, siya yung nag-create ng bouncing na movement, di ba? So it carries a compressive load. So yung spring na yan, naka-design yan para ma-compress. Okay, ano pa yung mga another type of spring na undergo compression? Yung buildings or yung mga structures natin. Okay, buildings or structures. We have here an example. Wait lang. Ito. This one, we have here a simple structure, a steel structure, tapos merong makina sa taas. So ano ba yung kinakarga niya? It is a load here. So yung mga helical springs natin dito, it is designed para ma-compress. Okay? It is designed para ma-compress. And then yung ating open coil helical spring naman, this is good for tension. Okay? Kung dito, it carries compression. Dito naman sa open coil, it carries yung tension. Okay? So, pag meron tayong tension, ang example ng mga springs that carries a tensile loads are the springs used in the doors. Okay? So, yung doors natin, yung mga pintuan, diba? May automatic open and close siya. So, pag in-open natin siya, it is intended to stretch, diba? It is intended to open the door. So, pag nag-open yung door, it will elongate, diba? So, it undergoes tension. Okay? So, those are some examples of the helical spring that undergoes compression and tension. Okay? So, what are the functions of a spring? Bakit kailangan natin siyang pag-aralan dito sa Mechanics 104? So, aside from the idea or aside from sa mga na-encounter na natin na function of springs, like for example, yung mga brakes, ano pa, yung mga mattresses, there is a larger use of helical spring in terms of civil engineering or in terms of engineering. Okay? So what are some of the functions of spring? Una is vibration and shock absorption. So vibration and shock absorption, ibig sabihin, pag meron tayong spring, nire-reduce niya yung impact ng mga forces. Okay? So paano niya nare-reduce yung mga impact ng mga forces? Yung spring na yon, ina-absorb niya yung energy or nagdi-dissipate yung energy. Kunwari ito, we have here yung example natin kanina, this one. Bakit ideal na maglagay tayo ng spring sa taas or if we are carrying a certain equipment or machineries? Okay? So, yung mga equipment and machineries kasi they create vibration. Pag umandar yung makina, pag umandar yung equipment, nag-create yan ng vibration, di ba? So, pag may vibration, pag wala itong spring na to, direct yung magiging effect dito sa ground. So, habang nag-shake or nagva-vibrate yung ating equipment dito, pinapasa niyo yung energy directly to the ground. Therefore, nadi-disturb din yung ground. Nagkakaroon din ng vibration pag walang spring. That's why, through engineering, nag-create sila ng connection na ginamitan nila ng spring. So this one, pag nag-vibrate to, pag gumalaw yung makina sa taas, the energy will transfer to the helical spring. So minimal na lang yung magiging reaction or yung vibration na ma-experience dito sa may ground, di ba? Kasi anong gagawin ng helical spring dito? Nag-shake siya, nagva-vibrate siya dito. So, nagtra-transfer yung energy papunta dito sa may spring. So, siya yung kumakarga. Siya yung nag-a-absorb ng energy, yung vibration. Okay? Tapos, pag nakarating na siya dito sa ground, minimal na lang yung shaking dito. Next function of spring is the energy storage and release. Okay? So, kagaya ng sinabi ko kanina, yung ating door, tapos merong siyang spring. So, this is the door lift. So, connected, merong nakakonect dito na spring to the other wall. So, pag inopen natin yan, it will release energy. Okay? It will release yung naka-store na energy. So, that is one example or function of the spring. So, tension. It will now release tension para mas mapadali yung pag-open natin dun sa door. It will now release yung naka-store na energy. Another function of the spring is the load distribution and support. Okay? So, here we have a example. No? This is a bridge. So, meron tayong dito yung girder and then another girder. So, it is being connected by tinatawag na device, seismic isolation device. So, it is also made up of spring yan. So, para pag nagkaroon ng any shaking dito sa baba, it will transfer less energy papunta dito. Or ganito rin naman dito. Pag nagkaroon ng vibration sa taas, it will cause less shaking or vibration dito sa baba kasi ina-absorb na siya mismo ng ating spring. Okay? Ano pa yung mga structures? Ayan, structures, a floor. It is being isolated. Yung ating beam dito, it is being isolated from the floor. So, pag nagkaroon ng any shaking dito sa baba, hindi direct yung effect dito sa ating floor kasi ina-absorb siya ng ating spring. Okay, so later on, you will be encountering these types of devices. Pag nagtrabaho na kayo or pag nag-proceed kayo sa higher year. Okay, the use of the helical spring, the advantage of using helical springs. Okay, so let's proceed now to the definition of terms. Okay, so the stiffness of a spring is defined as the load per unit deflection. So, stiffness, I think na-introduce na sa inyo rin to yung word na stiffness. So, pag sinabi natin stiffness, this is the measure of how much yung spring resist stretching or compression. Okay. So again, this is the measure of how much the spring will resist stretching or compression. Stiffness, no? When being subjected by a force. I think gumamit tayo ng letter or symbol K for stiff. Yes, K. We use the symbol K for stiffness, on which we defined as stiffness is equal to the load per unit deflection, or P divided by the deflection. Okay? Stiffness, K is equal to P, the load divided by the deflection. So, yung stiffness natin, naka-Newton per millimeter. Okay? And then, the solid length of the spring means the distance between the coils when the coils are touching each other. So, solid length of the spring. Ibig sabihin, we are just multiplying the number of coils. Pag sinabi natin coils is 1. Okay? So, 1 rotation of coil. So, this is N. Yung N is the number of coil na na-produce. So, isang coil is isang rotation. Multiply lang natin yung diameter. So, the solid length of the spring is equal to N multiplied by T. So, bilangin mo lang kung ilang ikot yan. Yun yung N. Okay, N. And then, we have now the diameter. So, pag well compressed siya, so, pag na-compress, dito tayo sa drawing na to. Pag na-compress siya, ayan. So, bilangin mo lang kung ilang ikot yan, tapos multiply mo ng kanyang diameter. This is the diameter. Ayan, diameter. N multiplied by T. That is the solid length solid length of the spring. So the spring index is the ratio of the mean coil diameter to diameter of the spring. So yung spring index natin, M yung ginagamit natin, spring index, main coil diameter D divided by the the diameter of the spring. Okay, so dito muna tayo sa mga symbol bago natin i-identify yung mga D and the small letter D na yan. Okay, so we have here a helical spring. So yung D kanina na ginamit natin is this one, the mean diameter of the spring. Ibig sabihin ito, diba, it is a circular in shape. So this is the D, the diameter of the helical spring. Tapos yung diameter ng coil is ito, kung ano yung diameter na ginamit sa coil. So yung spring index natin is the ratio of the capital D, the mean diameter of the helical spring, divided by the diameter of the coil. Okay? And then yung deflection na mangyayari is symbolizes as same dun sa deflection na symbol na ginagamit natin on the chapter 2. So for closed coil helical spring wherein the helix angle is very small, the bending effect on the spring is ignored and we assume the spring are to stand purely torsional stress. Okay? So for helical spring that are close coiled or masyadong dikit-dikit, we will neglect the effect of bending. Okay? So in reality, meron naman talaga siyang bending pero minimal lang kasi nga dikit-dikit siya masyado yung coil. So we're assuming na it is only experiencing purely torsion. Ay, yes, may bending effect dito sa spring natin pero minimal lang. Therefore, purely torsional stress yung i-consider natin. Okay, for this one, ano ba yung helix angle na tinatawag? So, yan, meron tayo ditong spring. This is the radius of the helical spring, radius of the helix. So, kunin natin yan. We have here radius. Tapos, pag isang ikot niyan, tapos umikot siya ulit, kuha tayo ng isang sample. Yan, parang ganyan. Iikot ulit yan. Ikot ulit yan, tapos ikot ulit yan. Okay, radius. So, ang magiging deflection natin is ito. Yung spacing mismo ng ating coil. Yan yung deformation. Okay? So, ano yung helix angle? Helix angle, ito yun. The theta. So, pag kinuha natin yan, we have tangent theta is equal to opposite TOA, opposite over the adjacent. So, R. Since napakaliit ng helix angle na yan, the helix angle is very small, we can consider it as theta is equal to the deformation divided by the radius. So, ito yung tinatawag natin na helix angle. Okay, so if it is too small, we can assume that the spring are to stand purely torsional stress. So, pag meron tayong torsional stress, as we have on the previous chapter, so it experiences shearing stress or shearing deformation. Yung mga helix spring natin will now experience shearing. Okay? So, therefore, the maximum shearing stress is the sum of the direct shearing stress and the torsional shearing stress. So, meron na tayong two type of stress here. So, yung stress daw ng ating helical spring is the sum of the direct shearing stress and then the torsional shearing stress. Or in other words, this is expressed as, this one is the, this is the direct shearing stress, yung ating tau 1, tapos yung tau 2, this is the torsional stress. So, paano natin nakuha yan? Okay, so let's take a look at this illustration. Okay, so kunin natin yung sample na to, yan. So, kunin natin yung sample na to. So, derive natin yung formula na to, para kahit makalimutan nyo yung formula na to, alam nyo kung ano yung gagawin. Okay, so kunin natin yung sample na yan. We have here a force P. Okay. Sige, ganyan na lang, force P. Okay, ni? Ganyan. So, this is also the diameter, di ba? Yan, constant diameter yan for the coil. So, small letter D and this is the radius, no? This is the radius. Radius. Okay. So, lagyan natin ng force P dito. Force P and then another force P here. Okay, so parang equilibrium lang siya. So, walang nangyayari dito sa part na to. Nilagay lang natin to para ma-derive natin yung formula. Okay, so pag sinabi natin maximum shearing stress is the summation of the direct shearing stress, tawagin natin tau 1, plus the torsional shearing stress. Direct shearing stress from chapter 1, we have a force, tapos kunin mo lang yung area that is parallel to it. Therefore, our tau 1 is equal to P divided by the area, on which yung area is ito. We have pi d squared all over 4. Okay? And then yung torsional shearing stress mo, we have here, TR yan. Torsional shearing stress, tawagin nating torsion 2, shearing stress 2. Okay, so we have here, ano yung formula natin based on the first topic of this chapter? The torsional shearing stress is equal to TR all over J. Okay, TR all over J. Yung torque na yan, ano yung torque? Torque is equal to P multiplied by R. Di ba? P multiplied by R dito. Torque. May torque dito sa part na to. So, P multiplied by R. Therefore, substituting it, we have P, capital R, tapos yung small letter r natin because the torsional shearing stress, it is being experienced on the coils. So, R, or in diameter, it is expressed as D all over 2. D all over 2, di ba? And then for J, ayan, so close ito, yung ating cross-section ng ating coil is closed. Therefore, we have pi all over 32 d raised to 4. Okay, so ayusin lang natin. So magiging 2 over 32 is 16. Ilagay ko sa taas na. So 16 p r. D natin, cancel. So naging cube divided by, ang natira sa baba is pi d cube. Okay, therefore, the maximum shearing stress is now equal to the direct shearing stress, which is equal to P all over pi d squared all over 4 plus 16 PR all over pi d cube. So, yung equation na to, same lang siya dito. Yan. Ito yung derivation ng formulang yan. P all over pi d squared over 4 plus 16 PR pi d cube, which is ito na po yun. Okay? So, for further simplification, kaya naging ganito. Na-simplify lang, kaya naging ganito. Simplify. Okay? Pero okay na to, pwede mo nang gamitin to direct. So, kung ayaw mo mag-memorize, okay lang naman. Which is, mas advantage pa nga pag hindi ka nagme-memorize ng formula. Doon ka sa concept. Okay, so alam mo that this is a direct shearing stress, tapos this is a torsional shearing stress. Gamitin mo tong formula na to, walang pinagbago kung minemorize mo to. Same lang. Okay? So, for the sake of the solution or discussion, sige, try nating gawin kung paano nangyari yung formula na yan. Okay, so ang ginawa niya is, nilabas niya yung 16 PR pi d cube. Okay, so 16 PR of pi d cube. Okay, so nilabas niya, magiging this one, sige, 1 plus ito. So ang ginawa niya is nilabas. Okay, tapos dinivide, so magiging 16 PR pi d cube dinivide using P all over pi d squared all over 4. So, matik, magka-cancel to. Sige, ayusin na lang natin. 16 PR pi d cube multiply by pi d squared all over 4. Tapos, meron kang P dito. Tama? So, magka-cancel out yan. 16, 4, magiging 4. Tapos, yung P, cancel. Pi, magka-cancel din. Si D, magka-cancel. So, meron kang iwang isang D. So, we are left with 4R divided by D. Diba? 4R divided by D. E, dinivide natin yan. Kaya, kunin natin yung reciprocal nito. So, magiging D all over 4R. Kaya, naging ganyan yung equation. 16PR pi D cube 1 plus D all over 4R. But then again, it's up to you if you want to memorize this one or dun ka na lang sa concept. Okay, mas madali pang tandaan to. Anyway, it's up to you. So, this formula is only used for, okay, sabi nga natin kanina, nina-neglect natin yung bending. Therefore, if we use this formula, we are only assuming na this is a light spring. Okay, light spring where the ratio is equal, or where the ratio D all over 4R is very small. So, very minimal lang yung magiging value nito. Okay, so again, if we use this formula, we will neglect the curvature, and then yung D all over 4R are very small. Okay, so this is only for light spring. Okay, light spring. Paano naman pag meron tayong heavy spring? Okay, so if we have heavy spring and considering the curvature of the spring, we now have a formula na gagamitan natin ng tinatawag na wall factor. So this is the wall factor for m-1 divided by 4m-4. So ito, parang yung kanina, yung formula natin, 16PR pi d cube, naging constant lang kasi siya dito. Kaya magkamukha, 16PR pi d cube. Kaso nga lang, iba na yung nasa loob ng parenthesis. Gumamit tayo ng wall factor. the 4m minus 1 divided by 4m minus 4 and then plus 0.615 all over m, on which m is the spring index. So based on the discussion a while ago, pag sinabi natin spring index, this is the ratio of the helix diameter divided by the diameter of the coil. Okay? So this is yung wall formula na yan or yung wall factor na yan, this is used to account additional stresses due to the curvature of the spring. Okay? So more accurate yung computation natin dito kasi we already consider the curvature of the spring. Okay? So ito lang naman yung mga tatandaan nating formula. We have for the heavy spring, we have for the light spring, okay? And then the spring index D all over D, okay? And then we also have here the elongation of the bar or ano yung magiging deformation of the helical spring. Okay? So, deformation of the helical spring, sige, try nating i-derive kung saan galing yung formula na to. So, based on the computation a while ago, we need to consider here yung ating helix angle. Okay? So, yung helix angle natin kanina is theta, and then this is the deformation R. Therefore, the deformation is equal to S, or the helix angle is equal to deformation divided by R. Okay? So, ano yung formula natin ng angle of twist? So, we have here TL all over JG. Okay? On which yung torque natin is considered as P multiplied by R. Okay? And then, we need to consider the length of the coil. Okay? So, the length of the coil, how do we determine the length of the coil? So, yung ating spring is in form of helix or cylindrical in shape. So, if we want to determine the whole length of the helical spring, iba pa yung solid length kanina, guys, ha? Iba yung solid length. Pag sinabi kasi nating solid length, yung pag dikit-dikit yung coil, this is the solid length. Iba naman yung tinutukoy ko dito na length of the coil. So, pag sinabi nating length of the coil, yung length ng lahat ng coil na to, kung ano yung haba niya. So, pag titignan natin, parang i-stretch mo siya. Okay? I-straight mo siya, yung coil na yan. So, paano natin kukunin yung length na yan? So, we have here, ano yung i-consider natin? We have here, ano ba to? Yung isang ikot na yan. Yung isang ikot na yan is equal to the circumference. So, meron ka ditong certain diameter, di ba? Diameter. Pero, sige, diameter. Kunin mo yung circumference niya. So, magiging pi d. Or in terms of r, sige, in terms of r tayo magiging 2 pi r, di ba? So, isang ikot yon. Tapos, i-multiply mo kung ilang ikot siya. So, multiplied by n. Okay? So, if you want to get the whole length of the spring, so kunin mo yung circumference, tapos i-multiply mo yung kanyang number of turns. So, 2 pi rn. So, that is the length. So, magiging 2 pi r multiplied by n. Ano yung j natin? J. Solid yung coil natin dyan. Solid. So, we have pi d raised to 4 all over 32 multiplied by g. So, ayusin natin. So, magiging cancel yung pi, di ba? Tapos, 32 times 2. So, magiging 64. So, 64 pr 64 PR squared, tama? PR squared multiplied by n divided by d o g d raised to 4. Okay? 64 PR squared n g d raised to 4. That is now the helix angle. And gusto natin kunin is yung ating deformation. Therefore, deformation is equal to angle multiplied by r. Therefore, the deformation is equal to, ano yung angle mo? 64 PR squared n divided by g d raised to 4. Multiplied by r. So, magiging 64 p r cube n divided by g d raised to 4. So, ito na po yung formula natin for the elongation of the bar. 64 p r cube n divided by g d raised to 4. Okay, so, dyan nangyari or dyan na-derive yung ating formula for the elongation. Okay? And then, again, yung stiffness kanina is P or the force divided by the elongation. So, madali lang naman yan. We have P divided by yung elongation. Ano yung elongation mo? 64 P R cube N all over G D raised to 4. So, magka-cancel lang si P. Okay, so ayusin natin. So, magiging G D raised to 4 all over 64 R cube N. Okay? So, kahit hindi mo na i-memorize to, dito ka na lang 64 PR cube N GT raised to 4. Tapos, alam mo naman that the stiffness is equal to P all over the omega. Okay? Yung spring constant and stiffness is the same, Parehas lang yan. Spring constant and stiffness is the same. Okay? And then, what are the different types of springs that we have? So, familiar na kayo dito, no? Because of the connection that we have and the electrical subject, no? Or yung connection natin of the wiring. Siguro meron naman na kayong idea nun. The series, connection in series, and then connection in parallel. So, spring in series, for 2 or more springs with the spring laid in series, the spring constant. So, pag gusto natin kunin yung equivalent spring constant or stiffness ng buong spring na to na nakalay in series, kunin lang natin yung 1 all over K is equal to 1 all over K1 plus K2 plus Kn. Okay? So, ito na yung magiging equivalent spring constant nung pool connection na yan. Okay? Remember that. And then, pag meron tayong spring in parallel, so if we want to get the equivalent spring constant or stiffness of these 3 springs here, i-add lang natin yung kanilang mga stiffness or the spring constant. So, that is the spring in parallel. Okay? Okay, so let's proceed now to the example. So, a closed coil helical spring of round steel wire, 10 mm diameter having 12 complete coils, is subjected to an axial load of 250 Newton. Calculate the deflection of the spring and the maximum shear stress in the material. Also, calculate the amount of energy stored in the spring. The shear modulus is 80 gigapascal and the spring index is equal to 10. Okay? So, meron tayong 10 mm diameter coil. So, this is the small letter D, 10 mm. And then, meron daw siyang 12 complete coils. So, this is the number of turns. So, N is equal to 12. It carries an axial load. So, P is equal to 250 Newton. So, pinapa-compute yung deflection of the spring and the maximum shear stress in the material. And also, the energy is stored in the spring. Okay? So, parang ganito yan. Okay, meron daw 12 turns na yan. And then, it carries force P. Okay? So, for this one, na-given din pala yung shear modulus, 80 gigapascal. And then, the spring index is M is equal to 10. Okay? So, how do we determine the deformation? So, the deformation of the bar is equal to, from the derived formula kanina, we have 64 PR cube N divided by G D raised to 4. So, we have 64. What is our P? 250 Newton. R, ano ba yung R? R is the radius of the helix or the helical spring. So, ito po yung R. So, paano natin kukunin yan? Okay, so hindi given. Pero ang given is yung spring index. We know that the spring index is equal to the ratio of the diameter of the helical spring divided by the diameter of the coil. Okay? So, we have here 10. Ano yung D natin? Small letter D. We have 10. Therefore, the diameter of this helical spring, so ang magiging diameter niya ngayon is 100. Okay? So, we have 100 millimeter. Therefore, the radius will be equal to 100 divided by 2. Okay? Millimeter. And then, raised to 3. Ilang number of turns? We have 12. Divided by G is 80 gigapascal or 80 times 10 raised to 3 Newton per square millimeter. And then D raised to 4, we have 10 millimeter raised to 4. Okay? Therefore, the deformation is equal to, okay, ano yung mga naiwang unit? Cancel out Newton. This is millimeter cube, millimeter 4. Okay, so magka-cancel yan. Magiging squared, cube, tapos squared. So, natira is millimeter. Okay, so the answer is 30 millimeters. 30 millimeters yung deflection of the spring. Next, the maximum shearing stress we have here. Okay, ayoko mag-memorize. So we have the direct shearing stress plus the torsional shearing stress, which is equal to TR all over J. Okay. Pero again, pwede nyo gamitin yung na-derive na formula. So we have here P. Ano yung P natin? We have 250 all over the area. Pi, tan squared all over 4. Okay, so we have P. We have PR. P is 250. R natin is 100 divided by 2. Tapos yung small, guys, yung T is yung P multiplied by R ha, yung derivation natin kanina. And then yung R natin, small letter R, is 10 divided by 2 all over. J natin is pi all over 32. D raised to 4. So we have D raised to 4. Therefore, the answer is equal to So the answer is equal to 66.845. Okay? 66.845. So ano yung mga natirang unit natin? Naka-Newton ito, tapos naka-millimeter squared. Yes, naka-megapascal na po siya. 250 is Newton, tapos naka-millimeter ka, naka-millimeter ulit dito. Tapos dito sa baba, naka-millimeter raised to 4. So sa taas, meron tayong Newton, that millimeter squared, tapos sa baba, meron tayong millimeter raised to 4. Cancel out, squared. So, ang natira is Newton per square millimeter. Okay, or megapascal. 66.845. Okay, so same lang siya kanina ha, yung na-derive natin. Okay, same lang. Ano yung formula? 16 PR pi d cube 1 plus d4r. Okay, so same lang. Sige, try natin. 16, ano yung P is 250 Newton. Radius is 50, di ba? 100 divided by 2 Newton. We have pi, ano yung D? 10 raised to 3. 1 plus 10 all over 4 multiplied by 50, di ba? 50. 100 divided by 2. So, ang magiging sagot dapat 66.845 din. Okay? Mas gamay ko lang kasing gamitin yon kasi hindi ako masyado talaga sa memorization. Mahina ako sa memorization ng formula. So, doon na lang tayo sa may concept. Okay, 1 plus 10 all over 4 times 50. So the answer, yes, the answer is still 66.845. Okay, again, it's up to you if you want to memorize this formula or just the concept. Walang pong problema. As long as we derive on the same answer, 845 megapascal. Okay? And then the last one, the energy stored in the spring. Okay, energy stored in the spring. So hindi ko na introduce sa inyo dun sa may compute dun sa may formulas, but here if we are talking about the energy stored in the spring, it is just equal to, okay, it symbolized, says as U, capital U. U is equal to 1/2 of the force multiplied by the deflection. Okay, 1/2 P multiplied by the deflection. Okay, so yung U natin yan sige, tignan natin yung magiging unit. So 1/2, ano yung P? Again, this is energy, this is the energy being stored by the spring. So 1/2, yung P natin is 250 Newton. The deflection is 30 millimeter. Okay, 30 millimeter. Therefore, the answer is equal to 250 times 30 divided by 2. So we have 3,750. Okay, 3,750, naka-Newton that millimeter tayo. Or in other words, yung U natin is naka-Joule. Okay, so if you want to convert it into Joule kasi, ang Joule is equal to Newton dot meter. So pag ginawa mong Newton dot meter, yan magiging 3.75, di ba? 3.75 Newton dot meter or Joule. 3.75 Joule. Okay, so yan yung sagot for the energy being stored. Energy being stored is 1/2 P multiplied the deflection. Energy, it is expressed in Joule. Okay? So that is for example number 1.